Morning everybody, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. This morning I'm going to be reacting to a video requested by Clovis First Doodle 6911. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your YouTube name correctly there. First Doodle 6911. Yes, hopefully I'm pronouncing your YouTube name correctly. Yes, I've been requested to react to Joan of Arc, Savior of the Kingdom of France, made on the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel. Yes, the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel. As well as another video. It's going to be a double hitter from Cajun Cutthroat. The second one is called, let me just get to the downloads, Louis the Ninth. Yes, Louis the Ninth, the Crusader King. That will be next. So first we're dealing with Joan of Arc, Savior of the Kingdom of France, and then I'll be reacting to Louis the Ninth. And you'll see the card for it right at the top right here, if you guys want to check that one out first. And yeah, let's start with Joan of Arc, Savior of the Kingdom of France. Remember that you'll find that you'll find the video as well as the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel in the description below. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go. A young little girl, confusing the voice of the heart and the voice of heaven, convinces the improbable idea to carry out the feat that men cannot accomplish anymore, to save her country. Jules Michelet, French historian, 1798-1874. Okay. Joan of Arc is easily by far the most extraordinary person the human race has ever produced. Mark Twain. Wow, that's very big to say, you know. Joan of Arc is easily by far the most extraordinary person the human race has ever produced. Really? Really? Maybe for her time period and where she was located in France, yes, she was an extraordinary person, extraordinary human being in her time period and in her location. There's many other people across the world during that time that must have also done amazing feats. You know, yes, they might not have been documented, well documented, like how Joan of Arc has been documented, but there were other people. So to say that the most extraordinary person the human race has ever produced, I don't know about that. I think we're taking it a bit too far, But okay, let's start. Let's continue. Oh, there's no voiceover. We're reading. All right. 1412, daughter of Jacques d'Arc, and Isabella Romy. Jean was born in Domremy, a village located at the border between the provinces of Lorraine and Champagne. Okay. Jacques was a plowman who could raise Jean, or Jacques, I should say. Jacques was a plowman who could raise Jean and his 4 other children in relative affluence. A young, affable girl, Jeannette, was doing housework, helped collecting the harvests, and keeping animals. Okay. With her great religious fervor, she liked going to the chapel of Beaumont, held by hermits, in order to pray for the Holy Virgin. So she's a farm girl. She takes care of the stock. She helps cleaning the house and you know, other chores and duties. And in her free time, she likes going to the church. Okay. She doesn't go out with friends or stuff like that. When she was 13, she heard for the first time a voice which she thought was coming from the sky, inciting her to stay good and pious. As years went by, messages became more frequent, and Joan identified the voices of Saint Catherine, Saint Margaret, and Saint Michael. Identified? How did you identify these saints when they died long ago? Or maybe they told you, yes, I am Saint Catherine, I am Saint Margaret, I am Saint Michael. Yeah, then I'll understand. But if you just identified them by yourself, that's a bit questionable. But okay. It was so, as Joan explained it, that she was told about the war raging in France and about the terrible sufferings endured by its people. Then at her great amazement, the voices called on her to liberate the kingdom from invaders and to lead Charles, the Dauphin of France, to the throne. Wow, really? This is like an RPG. and you know the music that's playing in the background, it's from the Elder Scroll, Morrowind. Yeah, so it's kind of like an RPG setting right here. You know, you're being sent by a higher power to go and liberate or free your country from the tyranny of the invaders. Yeah, it just feels like an RPG, and the fact that it's a lady who's going to be doing this, you know, in terms of liberating the country from the invaders. I think it's the British, right? I mean, this is very unique, especially during those times, in a patriarchal, religious, dogmatic society. Women aren't supposed to be holding swords and cladding themselves with armor and you know, doing things that men are supposed to be doing, you know. In those times, women had their place, men had their place. They didn't really intersect in terms of responsibilities. So the fact that this young girl, I don't know how old she is now, because last time we were told that she was around 13 years old, but you know, for this young girl to, you know, have this this importance, this decision to make, that she's going to help liberate her country, it's very brave, and it's not something that many people, especially women, would ever think about doing, especially during those times. Like, as I'm saying, that it was a very patriarchal and you know, misogynistic society. Women had their place. They weren't meant to be on the battlefield. They weren't meant to command men into battle. Maybe if you're royalty, it would be a bit different because you're the head of state. If she was the queen or a princess, you know, maybe it would be a bit different. But for the normal citizens, especially someone who comes from a rural setting, this is something that is unheard of. Yeah. Indeed, the defeat at Agincourt against the English 1415 put the heir of the Valois dynasty in perilous situation. With the Treaty of Torres, he was removed from the succession to the throne of France and replaced by the King of England. Wow. The infant Henry VI of Lancaster whose interests in France were managed by his uncle, the experienced Duke of Bedford. Alright, so Bedford was the caretaker of the throne until Henry VI of Lancaster could come of age to take the throne. Okay, so he was regent of England. Taking refuge in Bourges with his supporters named the Armagants. Yeah, okay. Sorry about this, guys. I'm very bad at pronouncing words. And yeah, now that it's French words, it's even worse. It's even worse. I cannot pronounce these words. So sorry about this. Charles continued to claim the crown. Okay. But he had to face the military offense of England and its powerful ally, Burgundy. Yeah, hey, I can see how much territory has been taken away from the French by the British. It's a lot. It's a lot of territory. But who are the Burgundies? Exactly, who are they? I don't see them on the map. I just see France and I see, England. Or should I say the British that have taken over large chunks of French territory. But I don't see anywhere where it says Burgundy. Anyways, for his part, the French people endured the devastation caused by often ill-paid troops of various belligerents. Okay. So the troops haven't been paid, the troops lack discipline and cohesion and order, and now they're terrorizing the people, stealing their stuff, abusing them, and just doing whatever they want because they have swords and they have armor. In 1428, Bedford decided to get out of the way, this little King of Bourges, as the English called him. He besieged the city of Orleans. Okay. This last lock of armor gun. Okay, guys, I need to find out how to pronounce this word. I need to find out how to pronounce this word. Okay. Let's see here.
Armagnac.
Armagnac. Armagnac.
Armagnac.
Okay, so the last lock of the Armagnac territories resisted stubbornly, yet for how long still? Okay. The same year, Domremy was looted by an English Burgundian militia, forcing the inhabitants to flee their village. Oh. Soon later, Joan left her family and settled in... Oh, okay. Google, help me. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Okay. Yes, come on. No advert, please.
Ouch. That's a cavity. RLB electric surround head cuts each tooth to remove.
Sorry, guys.
Vaucouleurs.
Vaucouleurs. Say again.
Vaucouleurs.
Vaucouleurs. Alright. Wow. Okay. Soon later, John left her family and settled in Vaucouleurs, a fortress close to Domremy, hoping to meet Captain Robert de Burdecourt there. Alright. In a few weeks, the 17-year-old girl, wow, 17, earned a lot of fame in the town and as a healer and seer. Okay. The Baudecourt then Baudecourt accepted to meet her. First he thought she was just another one of those cranks who were numerous during these troubled times. Okay. Yeah, Joan, manifestly having much charisma, managed to convince him to help her in her mission. This is definitely like an RPG. You know, here's Joan being sent by her saints to go and save her country, and now she has to convince the Lord of, you know, the region where she stays that I need help, I need support for me to save this country from the invaders, the British. And, you know, you have to now convince the Lord, and you have to have the charisma, you have to convince him with your fervent belief that this mission needs to succeed. Yeah, this is, it's feeling like an RPG type of setting for a game, and the music is not helping either. The music is making me think that this is like an Elder Scroll you know, storyline here of some sort. And if Joan was this prophetess coming from Lorraine to liberate France from her enemies, the one that the people had spoken about for many years? So the people of Lorraine, we've been discussing about a savior. This, okay, all right. In order to reach Chinon, hopefully that's how you pronounce it, where the Dauphin then was located, Bordecourt provided her an escort of 6 men. Among these, the squire Jean de Metz and Bertrand de Poldly. Oh, I cannot pronounce that name. Google, save my life. Oh gosh. Let's see here. Man, even YouTube is asking, do I mean another word? It doesn't have this one for some reason. Okay, let's hear the closest.
Ouch.
hooch.
It's a cavity.
But I have a good brushing routine.
Switch to Oral-B Electric with...
Hate adverts.
Name pronunciation from French. French nobleman. In French, boulanger. Boulanger.
Okay, boulanger. Boulanger. Alright. Okay. Bertrand de Boulanger, who from then on would never leave her. Okay. So a squire. Oh, both of them are squires. Okay. For 11 days, the little convoy rode through Burgundian lands under cover, wading across rivers in order to avoid patrols. On February 23, they reached the castle of Chinon. Sorry, I'm good. The music is really getting to me. The Dauphin, being informed by a letter from Berdicourt, received the young woman in private audience. Gentle Dauphin, I tell thee on behalf of Monsieur that thou art true heir of France. Make me work, and the country will be relieved soon. Okay, is that what Joan of Arc said to the king? Not to the king. It's not the king yet, but to the Dauphin of France. All right. Make me work, and the country will be relieved soon. Charles, a touchy and indecisive prize, okay, but of a great intelligence, immediately noticed Joan's potential. All right. But it says here Charles is a touchy and indecisive prize, yet, but of a great intelligence. All right. But still, I mean, how did he just come to the conclusion that Joan has potential if he's indecisive? But anyways. The words of the young woman carrying indestructible faith and will give him back confidence and could also galvanize his soldiers. Cautious, Charles sent several clerks to Domremy after an inquiry. They confirmed him that Joan was a good Catholic. Then he had her examined by matrons who confirmed him that Joan was a virgin, a proof of purity for the one who claimed being sent from heaven. Wow. So only those who are virgins have the purity and they are sent from heaven. Only those who are virgins. Really. This society is so... Yeah. Those were olden times, guys. That's back in times where I myself would not be able to survive, really. In such a world setting like this, no. It doesn't matter whether you're a virgin or you're not a virgin. If you're hearing voices from your gods, you're hearing voices from your gods. No purity of your virginity is going to be the ultimate determining factor of whether this is actually true or not. No. I mean, with men, they don't have to be virgins. They can just say, yeah, I heard God, and God told me that it's my ordained right to be king. So why is it that this type of responsibility is placed on women, where they should be the virgins and not the men? Because I can assure you now that Dauphin is not a virgin. That guy has been having sex with many women probably, or maybe his wife. And he's going to be telling us that he has the right to be the king because he's been ordained by God. Yeah. One month later, her brothers Pierre and Jean having joined her in Chinon, Joan was presented to the court. Her self-assurance and her oratorical talent created sensation again. She notably earned the ardent support of a young Duke of Alençon. Okay. Without wasting any longer, Charles sent Jean and Anglicon to Orleans at the head of reinforcement of 500 soldiers and a load of food supplies. Good luck. On April 29, 1429, sweeping across the English line, the convoy managed to enter the besieged city. Joan, being preceded by her own fame, was welcomed by famished population with extraordinary fever. Yeah, I mean, this is a woman clad in armor, and she has a sword, and she's on horseback, going through the town. It must be an amazing sight, because like I said before, it's a very patriarchal society. This is not something women should be doing. And here there is a 17-year-old woman, okay, not woman, but still a girl, 17-year-old girl who's going through town, wearing armor, on a horseback. Really, this is just beyond anything that anyone would have ever expected. And because of her own fame as being this seer and healer, and someone who has convinced the Dauphin of France and many other people that she has been commanded by the saints and by God to help liberate France. This is just out of this world. It's never heard of before. A girl that's not part of royalty. She's not a noble. She's not of noble birth. She's not that type of important person in the country. She's just a village girl. And here she is, riding on horseback, clad in armor, with men behind her, liberating France. This is out of this world. I'm sure the people, really, they were ecstatic. They saw something here, and they galvanized, seeing this hero coming into their town. Yeah. The view of this young girl equipped with armor and the Lee's banner amazed the inhabitants. Yeah, yes, definitely. It has to. As for Jean de Dunius, the French military leader, he noted that his soldiers were henceforth eager to fight the enemy. She must have also said a very powerful speech, about God ordaining her and all of those who would follow her to liberate France. Yeah, she must have said something amazing for them to be galvanized. Their their will was about to be satisfied. Out of her own initiative, Joan sent an explicit missive, at the very least, to the English. Okay. King of England, call back your men. I am here sent by God, the King of Heaven, to kick them out of all France. If you obey, I will give them mercy. Otherwise, you will hear in France the greatest war cry for 1,000 years, and I will have them all killed. Ooh. From their bastions surrounding Orleans, the English chiefs Glasdale and Talbot answered with taunts and insults. I must have been saying, "Ah, you wanker! Ah, ha, 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 ha. You damn French wankers!" Yet they did not laugh long. On May 5th, the French launched a furious assault against the fort of St. Loup and took it back from the enemy. Ooh. On May 7th, the fort of De Torres, considered impregnable, was stormed and captured. Glasdale and 700 English troops were slaughtered. Oh. Talbot and the rest of the English forces fled to the north as Joan announced Orleans was freed. During the assaults, she was always at the front line to encourage her troops, so much that Dunos sometimes had to restrain her unbounded enthusiasm. That's amazing. That's really amazing that Joan was able to be in the front lines. She must have been saying, "We are here to free Orleans by the grace of God and by the saints." You know, she must have been trying to galvanize her soldiers to keep pushing forward. And yeah, that's good. That's really good. The issue is that if the British or the Burgundians take out this very important figure in this French liberating army, they will lose their fire, they will lose their steam, and they won't be able to push forward against the Burgundians and the British. You know, the reason why they are all here and galvanized is because of Joan of Arc. If she dies, it's over. So yeah, she has to be taken back just a bit. She doesn't have to be at the front line right there, you know, as these men are climbing those walls. You know, she doesn't have to be right there. She can just be like, you know, in the middle. Not too way back, and then the men are going to lose confidence, or you know, they're going to be thinking that, you know, she's just a armchair commander who just sits way at the back and allows other men to die, you know, instead of risking her life as well. So yeah, it's good that she's in the middle of it, she's in the thick of it, she's galvanizing the troops, and they are winning the day. Yeah. After this great victory, John set new rules in an army which received new volunteers on a daily basis. She prohibited looting, prostitutes had to marry soldiers or were expelled, masses were regularly celebrated. Prostitutes had to marry soldiers or were expelled. So you're putting this responsibility on the women. They must go find a soldier to marry, or they will be expelled. Not the men, but the women. They will be expelled. Wow. Wow. I mean, it takes two to tango. It takes the man, it takes the woman. Why is all that responsibility befallen before the woman? She must be the one to look for a husband. She must be the one to say that we are going to get married. If we don't marry, I'm going to be kicked out while you will still stay in the city or in the towns or wherever else. That's not right. That's not right, Joan of Arc. You know? It should be like an order that those soldiers who are frolicking with women, or should I say with the prostitutes, as soon as you catch them, 1 and 2, you are married. If they catch you guys having hanky-panky somewhere, 1, 2, you guys are married right there on the spot. You know, don't let it be the responsibility of the woman alone to say to a soldier that, you know, I'm marrying you. It should be both of them at the same time. If you're gonna force these prostitutes and these soldiers to marry, then you're gonna have to force them together. Not one, partner has to do it while the other one can either say yes or no. You know, the soldier can just say yes or no. I'm not marrying you. So, yeah, I'm not really sure about this law, but okay. Although they behaved like roughneck soldiers, so far captains followed Joan's demands. Against all expectations, the rough men Gilles de Reis, La Hire, or Xantralis liked the cheerfulness and outspokenness of the young girl. As for Dunyos, he noted that she was quick-witted and curious. So, she was interested in every military aspect, from tactic to use of siege weapons. Yeah, while other women of her age are, you know, either still continuing being farmers, or they are creating, you know, clothes or dresses or stuff like that, or cooking, or being married, or having children. She is out here fighting wars. Joan is fighting wars while women her age are doing totally different, you know, things that are expected for women to do in that society, you know, in that patriarchal society. So yeah, it's a unique opportunity, a unique situation that has occurred here in France, and because of the chaos, opportunity is available, and that's what Joan has taken advantage of. You know, chaos is a ladder. Watch her climb. In early June, the French army started the reconquest of Loire Valley. The English strongholds surrendered one after another under the impetus of Joan. The French got back their offensive spirit, which completely surprised the enemy. Jargueux was recaptured on June 12th. then Meung-sur-Loire on June 14 and Bjergensi on June 16. Okay, sorry guys, I'm butchering the names. On June 18, a strong English relief army led by Talbot and John Fastolf, was spotted near the village of Patay. Unlike in Circe or Agnicourt, the French rushed to the enemy before this latter could strengthen his position. So the Battle of Patay is about to begin. What type of game was the Cajun Cutthroat playing here to have this this imagery, you know, this video? I'm just wondering, what game is he playing here? Joan was with the French vanguard led by La Hire, which was the first to outflank the enemy. The initial shock destabilized the English archery, which did not manage to repulse the French infantry in the center. On reaching the point of contact, the latter then showed its superiority in hand-to-hand combat. The Battle of Patay ended with utter headtomb for the English. 2,500 of them were killed for fewer than 100 Frenchmen. Oh. A very big victory. 2,500 of the British or English forces have been defeated. Wow. Fastolf ran away, Talbot was captured, longbowmen were slaughtered, the English army was durably shattered. Following John's political intuition, I should say, Charles decided to carry on the breakthrough as far as Reims? I can't wait. Google, help me. I need your help, Google. Google, where are you? Let's ask Google how to pronounce this word. Oh gosh. Google. Reims. Okay, Reims. Okay, following John's political intuition, Charles decided to carry on the breakthrough as far as Reims in order to be crowned king there according to the traditions of the French monarchy. Oh, so they get crowned as kings or queens in Reims. Where is Reims? Oh, okay, I see Paris there. Wow, Reims is quite far. Orleans, Chinon. Yeah, Chinon to Reims is very far. Pate. All right, I see there. Okay. Huh. The travel through enemy territory was actually quite easy, strongholds preferring to open their gates to the maid's army. Yeah, you know, her reputation now precedes her. It precedes her and her army as well. So any forces that are defending any locations, they don't want to, tangle with Joan and her forces. They would rather just give up and allow them to come through. Better to save their lives than to fight a losing fight, I would say. Yeah, the British have lost a lot, the Burgundians have lost a lot, and they're retreating, from the situation because of the overwhelming force and charisma that Joan and her forces have. On June 16, 1429, Reims was reached. The ceremony was organized in the Cathedral Notre Dame de Reims by the Grand Chancellor of France, Reginald de Chartres. That is a big church. Surrounded by Joan and her companions, Charles was anointed with the holy ampulla and took the name of Charles VII. Yes. For his contemporaries, the coronation and its preceding victories legitimized completely Charles VII to the detriment of Henry VI. Okay. Joan was then at the height of her popularity. With her in that year, 1429, the sun started shining again. The poetess Christiane de Paysan wrote. Okay. Man, I am so bad at these words, at pronouncing these names and words. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, that is embarrassing. During this period, the maid was credited with several kinds of feats and miraculous healings. Basically, you could say that she's like a living saint then, She has championed the French to liberate their country from the British. She is now, having these feats of miraculous healings. Yeah, she's basically a living saint right now. We just need the Pope to finally say yes, she's a saint. Because they're Catholic and the headquarters of the Catholic religion are in the Vatican, and the Pope is there, and all the other people who control the religion. So yeah, they're the ones who must make up the decision to say that she is a saint, a living saint. Yeah. Her fame spread even beyond the borders of foreign princes requesting her arbitration and political or religious disputes. I mean, like I said before, this is a territory or a realm where women aren't supposed to be in, especially in those times in the Middle Ages, Like I said, women have their place, men have their place. And the fact that these countries, or should I say the princes of these different nations, are requesting for the audience, or should I say the are giving invitations to Joan to, arbitrate between religious matters or matters of the kingdom. It's just unheard of, really. A woman being asked to do all of these things. Astonishing. Charles VII rewarded substantially the one who made his coronation possible. The Dark family was ennobled from then on, and the name has been known as the Ark. Okay. And on John's request, the village of Domremy was freed of tax forever. Forever! That's amazing. I'm sure people are going to start moving to this village to stay there so that they don't have to pay tax. I'm sure. And I'm wondering, is this notion of not paying tax forever still in effect even now in 2024? Maybe not, but that's amazing, really. They may then tried convincing the king to attack Paris. Wow. But this latter was reluctant, troops were exhausted, and finances had become scarce. So Paris is still under the control of the British and the Burgundians. He finally accepted to dispatch a small force to the mighty city, probably to test its resistance. On September 8th, 1429, Alençon, Gilles de Reims, and Le Hare launched their men to the assault of one gate of Paris, the Port Saint Honor. But the important Anglo-Burgundian garrison easily repulsed the attack. When Joan was seriously wounded by a crossbow bolt, the retreat was ordered. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, she likes to be in the front lines, and someone took a shot at her, and it landed. Yeah, they have to retreat. They can't lose their symbol of liberation at this very moment. They can't lose her. They have to retreat. Charles' main objective became the rallying to his cause of Philippe the Good, Duke of Burgundy, by diplomatic means. A contrario, Joan quickly healed from her wound, could not wait to go back to the action again. Wow. So Charles wants negotiations, or should I say King Charles VII wants negotiations, while Joan wants to continue the fight for liberation. Oh, they're splitting now in their, in their mission. They used to be united in wanting France to be liberated, but now the king is going another path, while Joan is still continuing the same path of liberating France from the British and the Burgundians. This might cause problems. The king provided her with a small force of soldiers and gave her some secondary missions, such as the capture of some equerries, armor bands of unpaid mercenaries. Okay. Oh, armed bands. I said armor. Sorry guys, mistake there. Armed bands of unpaid mercenaries. Okay. Early 1430, after a few mixed successes, Joan was ordered to stay in a castle of Sully-sur-Loire. What? Is she on house arrest? Is she being put into detention by the king? Because, you know, she's bloodthirsty. she wants to continue fighting while the king is trying to negotiate. In March, she was informed that Compiègne was about to be besieged by the Burgundians. Without warning the king, she gathered her men and left to reinforce the city's garrison. Wow. She's going to get into some serious trouble with the king. Some serious trouble. On May 23, during a sortie when she was at the head of the city's militias, she was captured by the enemy. Oh no. Knowing the political value of the prisoner, the Burgundians hastened to sell her to the English for a considerable amount of money. After 2 escape attempts, she was to be transferred to a prison in Rouen, the English primary city on the continent. Far from the front lines, Joan knew that she could not hope for help from Charles VII anymore, especially since she had disobeyed his orders. Yeah. I mean, if she had told the king that I'm going to go and help out the defense of that city, maybe the king would have sent some reinforcements, or he would have said, no, stay put, don't do anything, don't go there. Would she have listened? Probably not. She would have just went, because she still has that belief in herself that, she is ordained by God. God has given her this mission. And no king, even a king that she helped ascend to the throne, is going to tell her what to do. She is here on a mission to liberate France from the oppression or the occupation of the British and the Burgundians. And that's what she's going to do. But yeah, now she's paying the price for her exuberance, her fervent belief that what she's doing is right. She's in prison now. Moreover, contrary to all military conventions of the time, no ransom was asked for her. Oh. So the British really want to keep her now, as like a war trophy maybe or something. Yeah. In order to discredit Charles VII, Joan was accused of heresy and handed over to Pierre Cauchon, Bishop of Biervais, who was in favor of English interests. During the preliminary inquiry during January 1431, her conditions of imprisonment were made worse, and she was physically threatened several times. Yo. So they're trying to, rattle her, trying to break her down so that when they start their inquiry, she'll be weak of mind, weak of body and spirit, and she would just accept to anything that they are accusing her of. Probably, yeah. It's some sort of like a mental mind game, to break her down, so that when they start questioning her, she cannot respond, fast enough or strong enough against their accusations. Yeah, it's cruel. It's not fair. The trial started on February 21. The 19-year-old girl, what? She's still 19. Illiterate, was facing several dozens of hardened clerks and theologians. And yet Joan was never caught at fault on the sincerity of her faith, answering various accusations with common sense and clarity. Good for you. She even used of insensitive humor against the ridiculousness of the convoluted questions, causing laughter in the audience and outcry of the court. She still got it. Even if she's in prison, even if she's been hurt mentally or physically, she still got it. She can still galvanize the people. She can still, believe in her faith, and the strength of her faith keeps on shining brightly in her soul, in her heart. And these people who are questioning her cannot defeat her, because she is one with what she believes in. Accusers were then focusing on the wearing of men clothings and on her direct dialogue with God, which overstepped the church's authority. Oh yes, the fact that you are talking with God and not God talking to the church, and then the church talks to the people, that is, very concerning to them, because their power base is the fact that God talks to the church and the church talks to the people. If you cut out that middleman, which is the church, and have God only talking to the people, then the church's authority and power base is irrelevant. It is irrelevant, and that is a threat to their existence as an organization. Yeah. Joan defended herself brilliantly again, therefore her gaolers increased privation and threatened to torture her. Oh. So if they cannot win the debate, or convince without reasonable doubt that you are a heretic, then they will use violence against you. Clearly, this court is not fair. There's no justice here. There is no, proper conduct. It's just men wanting to destroy this woman, no matter the cost, because she is a symbol and she is a threat to the occupation of France by the British and by the Burgundians. So they are here to make sure that she dies one way or another. One way or another she dies. One way or another Charles VII loses his legitimacy because of this hero of France. Yeah. Second one out, she accepted to sign a paper for the reunification of her sins, which had been prepared by caution. This confession could save her from execution. I don't think it's going to save her from execution. She's still going to be executed one way or another, you know. Informed of this, Bedford threw a tantrum. The same night, English soldiers beat her up and forced her to wear men clothing again. She was finally convicted of heresy, blasphemy, and relapse, and was condemned to be burnt alive. Wow. As if she felt relieved of not having betrayed her convictions, Joan then accepted her fate with sincerity. On May 31 at dawn, she received communion one last time. Then she was taken under heavy guard to Rion's marketplace, where a large stake had been raised. Wow, so they're really going to burn her in the marketplace. I mean, that's where people go and buy food and, talk to other people. And it's a very popular place where people come and commence business or, receive goods and services. And this is where they're going to burn someone? Oh, so weird. A crowd of onlookers and many English dignitaries were present. Everyone noticed the courage and the dignity of this young girl. To think that she's going to die so young, she didn't even reach the age of 20 and beyond. Wow. The last words John uttered were a prayer for the Christ. While the flames started rising, an English lord exclaimed, "We are all cursed. We have burnt a saint." Yes, you have, a living saint. While the flames started rising, an English... Oh, I already read that, sorry. 1435, skillfully taking advantage of trade tensions between the English and the Burgundians, Charles finally got the support of Philip the Good, Treaty of Arras. So his negotiating tactics have borne fruit, if I can say that, where Joan wanted to continue the offense in terms of liberating France from the British and the Burgundians. The king had other ideas. He wanted to talk, he wanted to negotiate, and it has succeeded for him. The Kingdom of France finally being reunited, the Valois patiently built a modern professional army equipped with matchless artillery. Thus the French definitively crushed the English during two striking campaigns in Normandy and in Aquitaine, 1450 and 1453. Answering her judges, Joan had foreseen it. On the love or the hate that God has for the English, I do not know, but I am convinced that they will be expelled from France except for those who die on this ground. Well, she was right. Once Rouen was recaptured, Charles VII ordered the counter-inquiry to be opened in order to rehabilitate the Maid. Obviously, his objective was to leave no stain on his own legitimacy, but he also showed a true attachment for Joan and her family. The minutes of the trial was scrupulously analyzed and dozens of new testimonies were recorded. On July 7, 1456, Pope Calixtus III declared the first trial and its conclusions null, invalid, worthless, and without effect, and he fully rehabilitated Joan and her family. His successor, Pius II, already summarized the fascination and the questions that the meteoric fate of Joan of Arc would create throughout centuries. Joan, the admirable, astonishing maid, she is one who helped the fallen and almost desperate kingdom of France to rise again, the one who inflicted to the English so many and so great defeats. In the middle of the armies, she kept an unsullied purity without any suspicion ever touched upon her virtue. Was it the work of God? Was it a human stratagem? It would be hard for me to tell. I think it's both. Her faith, her belief in her God and the saints, and her human determination and spirit and her mind, because she's been learning military tactics and siege tactics, her stratagem has also contributed. So it's both. It's her faith and her mental fortitude and understanding. In 1909, Joan of Arc was beatified by the Catholic Church. But she's not made into a saint. What are the requirements for someone to become a saint? She was canonized on May 16, 1920. Her religious feat was set on May 31, the day of her martyrdom. Okay, her religious feast. In 1922, Pope Pius XI proclaimed Joan of Arc secondary patron saint of France. Oh, congratulations. Finally. Finally, you are a saint. Yeah. Wow, that is it. That is it with Saint Joan of Arc, Savior of the Kingdom of France, made on the Cutthroat YouTube channel. Yeah, guys, that was good. That was really, really good. Hearing the story of Joan of Arc, Savior of the Kingdom of France. Thank you again to Clovis, or should I say, first Dublet 6911 for the request. Sorry if I'm butchering your YouTube name. I'm so sorry. But yes, this was a really good documentary on Joan of Arc, and yeah, she was very young. She died very young, but she also led the armies of France at a very young age. Not many 17-year-olds or 19-year-olds can say that they've led their armies of their country in an effort to liberate their country from the occupiers, like the British or the Burgundians. Not many young kings and queens and important generals can say that they have led their forces to such victories. And here she is. Joan has done it. She doesn't come from royalty. She doesn't come from nobility. She started from very humble beginnings. She was a very diligent and loyal and pious lady who believed in her religion, in Christianity, who loved the church more than she loved being young and playing with other friends and doing other things that girls do. No, she went straight to church after doing her chores and her work at the farm. She went to church, she prayed, she didn't read books. She was illiterate. I think that's what we've been told. But, she was in church. She prayed and she found peace in the church more than she would, playing with friends or doing other things that girls her age do. So yeah, she had very humble beginnings, and she was given this mission by her saints or by God, and she was brave enough to tell what was his name again, Bergencourt, that she has this vision, she has this mission. In order for her to liberate France, she must talk to the Dauphin of France. She must convince him that I need an army to liberate France from the tyranny of the British and the Burgundians. And yeah, that took guts. That took bravery like nothing else. Other people in her position would have just used their position in the French court just for their own self-indulgence, just to get a piece of land here and there and have their own little home and become a lord or a lady of that land. And that's as far as they will get, But with her, she went through this to the bitter end. She made her army. They marched on to fight against the British and the Burgundians. They've been winning battle after battle. Even when she was wounded, she still wanted to fight. she still wanted to fight for the liberation of France. And really, that's just something very unique. Not many people would have done the same thing. Some would have just rested on their laurels. With whatever success that they've gotten, they would have just rested on their laurels, built themselves a mansion and become the lord or lady of the land. But she continued to fight. And yes, that caused problems for King Charles VII, because he had plans for negotiating with the Burgundians, to dislodge their alliance with the British. And, here is Joan wanting to force or wanting to push the fight against the British. And really, they were at loggerheads. And the king decided that he was going to put her on house arrest so that she stays away from his efforts in trying to negotiate a peace deal. And it almost worked until it didn't. Until she decided that she was going to go out there and fight once more. And that would be the last time that she would be fighting. That would be the last time any Frenchman would see her. And she would be arrested. And she would be tried for heresy. And, Bedford would get her death one way or another. And that's what he got. He got her to be burnt alive. And now she's a saint. She is a saint. She has done an amazing, feat right here. She's done miracles in terms of healing people. She's a seer. She's a healer. She's a warrior. And yeah, she's now become the saint of France. And that's something that not many people can achieve. That is the highest status any man or woman could ever achieve during those times of the Middle Ages. So yeah, it's amazing. Really, it's an amazing story about this lady. And yeah, she is an extraordinary human being. And the French should always celebrate someone like her because, like I said before, this is just something out of this world. A woman, a girl, not even a woman yet, she was still a girl, has achieved so much. It's amazing. Yeah. Alright guys, that is it. Thank you again to First Dublé 6911 for the request. And remember guys, I'm going to be continuing on with, let me see here, it's Louis the 9th, I think. Let me just double check here. Yes, the next one is going to be Louis the 9th, the Crusader King, from the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel. Remember that the card is going to be somewhere here. Yeah, you'll see it somewhere here. If you guys want to continue on with that one. And yeah, if you want to check out the original video as well as the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright.